Hello and welcome everyone. For the people who are here live, thank you for joining me tonight for the Biz Room. For those of you who are watching the recording, I hope you are able to get some insights from this, and if you want to leave any feedback, then you can do that in the post, or you can join us next week and ask there as well. So tonight's topic is all about the art of placement. And it truly is a bit of an art form when it comes to our business. It's probably one of the most challenging aspects because we're not mind readers. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen to a person when they come into our business. But we do have obviously we have our instincts, and we also have our ability to ask very, very good questions. When it comes to the doTERRA business, obviously if you don't build your dream, someone is going to hire you to help build theirs. And that's the whole hauling buckets mentality, and this is the difference we have with doTERRA. So the power of placements, not everybody's team actually looks like this, but ideally we do have a tree that is structured with this perfect 3x3 scenario. This is a way that we can actually optimize all of the commissions that doTERRA offer to us, including the power of 3, which can be a very poignant and powerful income stream for us. But obviously the uni level and bonus pools and all that sort of thing are really, really big money at the end of the day, especially uni level, depending on your size of the team. So what's key in our business is that we actually need to identify as quickly as possible whether our new member is actually a user, a sharer, or a builder. And as soon as we do that, in the ideal situation, we'd actually be doing that within the first 14 days, because then we can actually place that new member elsewhere in our team. When we're identifying this person, basically you're going to regret it if you don't do it in the long run. So if you skip this step, you can just forget about everything else that I'm actually going to be teaching you tonight, because at the end of every presentation or at every enrollment, I would actually love for you to just pre-qualify someone by, in fact, we have someone on our team who says, would you like to catch up with me for a cuppa? And she offers them a little gift for people who do, because that means that catching up for a cuppa is talking about the business. And she mentions that just if you have an interest in earning any income with doTERRA. You can also identify sharers by offering an incentive and a share guide, as well as maybe some other kind of little promotion, maybe a lemongrass oil or an intro kit for people who book in a class with you there and then. Those people are identifying themselves as sharers immediately. Another discussion within 14 days means that when you're following up, things can definitely change, especially after they've received their products. That's going to be a game changer. You know, if someone is asking you a zillion questions, then that's a really good sign. Okay, it actually pays to invest your time and energy a lot into one of your new doTERRA members, because that is precious time that they will be able to set themselves up for really great successful experiences, both with the oils and with sharing with others. Never assume what you think someone will be. And I'm speaking from experience here, because I do admit I'm the sort of person who likes to see the potential in everyone. And I do think, oh my gosh, how amazing would this person be as a builder? You know, they're a naturopath, or they've got all this interest in natural wellness. They've got 2 children. You know, this mum might not have work or anything like that. And I can see the great possibility in someone. But in all honesty, that's my assumption, and not actually what that person is electing into themselves. It needs to be something that people are stepping forward into, just as it would be for a business, okay? So we need to set clear expectations as to what we would like these sharers and builders to actually step into. And I actually like to refer to them as hurdles, because you think it's a hurdle that someone will actually be willing to jump over and to get through in order to make it through to the next area, those gates. as we often refer to them as how we're behaving as a guide for them. And that way we're going to stop the guessing, okay? They're not going to be guessing what we expect of them, and we're not going to be guessing what their potential is and what they're actually willing to do and what they're committed to do, which can be two different things. So what does a user look like? Some of you feel very confident in knowing what a user looks like. Well, often a user is generally, they don't even have a loyalty reward order, or their loyalty reward order is under 125 PV, especially under 100 PV. They're not even frequently using the oils. They don't necessarily assume the oils are great as a first port of call. They're not asking many questions, or they're not even actively learning about the product or the business. They're not even necessarily engaged in maybe your Facebook group or Team Nailer or Essential Support. If you don't see much action from them there or much communication when you send them a text or a private message, then you think, yeah, they're not necessarily treating this very seriously. These people, however, are very, very important to our business. They make up the bulk of our uni level. We need to place them in our team where they will get support, and not just support from you, but support from a wealth of other people that will be able to be excited about having a customer on their team and be able to bring more education to them. Yes, it's true that users can definitely ignite into more, but it's never good to assume that that will happen. And better off to place them where they'll get support, because they are more likely to ignite with passion for doTERRA when they are a part of something that has great energy. And that's often a bit more than what you can offer yourself on your own. Place them low in your uni level, in your team as you can, and where you permanently need volume. And I'll talk about where you would place them specifically. I would be thinking a user would be going on to, say, your fourth, even your fifth level, sometimes even your sixth level if you have that down there, especially if they are purchasing good volume. Sometimes even health food stores and things like that and stay spas can be great to be lower in your team, because they're not necessarily going to be enrolling anyone, but they may be purchasing big orders. What does a sharer look like? A sharer is more so committed to 125 loyalty reward order every month. They also own the Modern Essentials book. And if you're like me, where you offer the Modern Essentials book or the Essential Life book as a follow-up order when someone qualifies for it with a 125-point loyalty reward order in their first following month, and I give that as a gift, they will have actually been really excited to earn that, as well as to continue on loyalty rewards and continue their education. They are interested in supplementing their income, and these people are often interested in earning their products for free, okay? They are generally willing to host 1 or 2 events a month, okay? And they're more likely and willing to attend trainings and to lock it into their diary because they're excited to come along. I would suggest that you would place a sharer onto your second and third levels, sometimes even your fourth if it comes to it. Users are placed directly under these people. So users are placed under sharers. Okay, sharers are the ones who are hosting, who are excited to talk about oils, and they're interested in supplementing their income. In other words, sharers are often interested in becoming the rank of elite, and users are great to help elites keep their volume. So it's a great way to look at it that way. Working 3 to 5 hours a week minimum, okay? We often know how that can blow out because we just love what we do so much, but often a sharer is doing that without even thinking about it, to be honest. A builder, however, is committed to a 150-point loyalty reward order every month, and that's because they are committed to supporting the Power of 3 bonus both within their own structure as well as their upline and their downline. They know that being a part of the team is a really important aspect, and contributing to that in a way with their own ordering. 150 PV is not a lot for a builder to spend when it comes to being a product of the product. Oils are a part of our life and their life as a builder. They're actively seeking out growth opportunities. Opportunities to share samples and follow up with people is a really exciting prospect for a builder. Builders are attending trainings and meetings regularly, and they're excited to even invite people to those meetings as well. They're doing regular personal development, maybe reading books and watching webinars like this one, for instance. Starting with the Slight Edge or GoPro are a really great 2 books to begin with for the rank of elite especially. Making 2 new contacts a day. They're committed and they're consistent in their efforts. They're often teaching 1 or 2 classes or events a week, okay? And these can be one-on-ones, but they can be classes and workshops as well. And attending those workshops on a monthly basis is an important part of personal development and product knowledge as well. They're working 15 to 20 hours a week minimum, okay? I know a lot of builders who are doing more, and that's because it does pay to invest time early on in your business so that you can get to a rank where you are earning good money and you can afford to then do more of the things that you may have sacrificed early on. For me, that was the gym. That's what I'm doing now. Like the sacrifice that I made in early years with doTERRA was I put that on the wayside, and it wasn't a good thing. So now I'm back into it, and it's just great. I've got a bit more time freedom and financial means to be able to do that. It's just wonderful. Pre-qualify your new members and set expectations. So basically there is information about this, and it's called the 3 pathways, and this can be found in the Lead Train by Rank guide, and even the launch guide will actually help you look at that as well. And if you even go to the Simple Build guide, which is a free download from sharesuccess.com/library, the Build guide makes it very, very clear where people can actually tick their own box and self-select if they see themselves as a user, a sharer, or a builder. And it's a wonderful way to actually sit down with someone and talk about that, and have a cuppa, for instance, and talk about these things. That's what the Lead Train by Rank guide looks like, and it is going to be updated very soon. All of these guides are now individual guides, and they can be purchased from au.oillife.com. So whatever rank you're aspiring to, you can actually get that support material for you, whether it's personal development, any questions, any kind of things to help your team grow and yourself grow into that new leadership responsibility. The launch guide is the first one, and that is really, really powerful. So let's talk about what a sponsor is versus an enroller. So a sponsor determines where they're placed on the team. It's basically their address on the team. It doesn't necessarily mean any more than that. Those who are sponsored by you will actually count towards your uni level and power of 3. So just say there's someone on your front line who you have not enrolled, but maybe your upline has placed there for you. Those people will still count towards the uni level that you earn, as well as the power of 3 that you earn. Sponsorship can be changed once, and once only, and it must be done within the first 14 days of a Wellness Advocate's time period. I have experienced exceptions to this rule where it has been done in the first 30 days. And if you are asking for a request, if maybe you've gone into your back office and you've looked at sponsor changes and that sponsor change hasn't been available to you, then you can email placements and maybe they will offer you an exception because of that. So don't think all is lost. doTERRA do want to be able to help us as much as possible. Now, an enroller is someone that can actually help count you for your own rank advancement. This is why it's always important to keep a hold of your own enrollments. You can get paid faster on these people as well, on them, and as well as 2 levels down on the people that they enroll, and so on. You can also, it also counts towards uni level and power of 3 on top of that. So, but you need to hold enrollment for future bonuses, okay? So let's look, just say we are this top person here, this big blue circle, and we have enrolled all of the 3 people on our front line, okay? That's really good. That means that we can rank advance of any of these three people. So for instance, for the rank of silver, we need to have 3 elites, and they need to be personally enrolled by us. So this is a great structure because the E means that they've personally been enrolled. The S means that they've been sponsored. So blue has enrolled S and made red here a sponsor, okay? As well as red here has enrolled this person themselves. Another example is here, green has personally enrolled this green E as well. However, blue, this is us, we've thought, oh, we've got enough people on our front line so we can make green E a sponsor of this person because we think that they will work really well together. Purple, for instance, they already had a couple of people on their front line, and just say we have some circles, some social circles that are working well together, then maybe these 2 people are working closely and this person would like to work with them, or we know that they're associated or would grow well with them, then we can actually sponsor down on our 3rd level as well. In fact, we can sponsor as far down, 100 levels or beyond if you wanted to, but really that would just be crazy because our uni level is only going down 7 levels deep once we have silvers on our team. So bear that in mind when it comes to placements. We want to keep sponsorship up high still, depending on whether they're a user, a sharer, or a builder. So when it comes to structure, only builders are going to go on your front line, okay, your level 1. Your front line is...
Explain what uni level is.
Uni level? Well, we'll do that in a compensation plan. Yeah. Your front line is gold. It's like top-notch real estate. It's the best that you've got, and it's precious. You don't ever just want to give away a frontline position to anyone who is not, committed and capable and proving themselves to you that they're going to step up. Enrollers or users go on your 2nd or 3rd level, okay? So people who are users are going to go down there. Users fill in the power of 3 or the bottom tier, which means on your 3rd level, and wait for the builders. So if you only are growing 1 leg, that's okay. Just keep going with that 1 leg till you find the next builder. Do not make power of 3 your first and foremost priority, because you may, depending on whether you're attracting builders to your team, you may have to wait a long time. And that's where we can talk about a placeholder, which may be able to mind a frontline position for you till you find the right person. Do not give anyone in your team more than 1 builder. Now, this is not necessarily a rule of doTERRA's or even a golden rule, but I actually do consider it to be a personal rule, and it's one that I would suggest that you adopt as well. I find that people work best with their own people, with their own friends, and I have, discovered this throughout my 5.5 years of doing doTERRA, that I really see that there is great synergy when people bring in their own dear friends or their own contacts that they've been able to build up a connection with. And so if you have an incredible builder and you know that this person is wanting or just starting out, then yes, give it to them. Give them one. You can, enroll them down there and they can sponsor it. But don't go placing any more than 1 builder on someone's team. Yes, users, yes, sharers. Those people can definitely make up a team, but I would be very conscious of giving people any more than 1 builder. Do not start on your diamond leg or your 4th leg until you have hit the rank of silver. Otherwise, your gold and platinum ranks will be further and further away. And I have learnt this the hard way as well. I could have earned my 250 Power of 3 bonus twice over because I had 6 legs growing on my front line, before I even hit the rank of silver myself. And this is why I sat at the rank of Premier for 18 months, because my team was wide. Yes, it's paid off in the long run, but I promise you, you will have a lot more energy and a lot more great things happening on your team when you stick to those 3 legs to build strength. Whether you have your 1500 power of 3 or if you've hit silver, then it's a good time to move on and put a builder on as a 4th leg. But otherwise, you know, the income from silver to gold doubles. The income from gold to platinum doubles, okay? It's a big jump, and it's worth solidifying those ranks before you start kind of spending energy and time and enrollments on a diamond leg. Keep in mind location and like personalities when you're placing people in your team. You might want to have a family leg, or you might want to have, you know, a foodie blogger's leg, or maybe you're doing it on location. I know I have actually 2 Newcastle legs, which they started out as Newcastle legs, but in all honesty, now they're, you know, all over the world. I have a 1 Blue Mountains leg because that's where we live. And that also has blown out all over the world. And that's what happens. But initially, you want to have friends working with friends, so location is a really good way to work too. It pays to wait. Just like I said earlier, if this is us at the top, if this is you, just say you have a builder here over on the left and they've got some stuff going on, they've got some depth happening, and you're thinking, oh, this builder, it's got it all happening for them, and I don't have any builders. I've got someone who's really committed to orders, but they're not a builder. And I put them on my front line. U is for user. We don't want to put anyone under this person. We cannot build under a user, okay? It just does not work. It's not a long-term strategy at all. So what's the big deal about enrollments? Well, this is a silver, okay? This is a wannabe silver, to be honest, because this silver has personally enrolled this elite here, this personally enrolled this elite here. They've all got 3,000 PV. This lovely person over here has got 3,000 PV too. But this person who wants to be silver has only sponsored them. That means that they cannot be a silver. That person does actually not count towards them being a silver. They need to have another leg or someone underneath that they've personally enrolled that equates to 3,000 OV as well. So what's the good thing about keeping your own enrollments? We can see that it means that when we have someone underneath, we can still qualify from them, okay? That means that it still can always work out in the long run. That means that they don't actually roll up in uni level, but they become that 3rd leg for you, which makes it work. So there's flexibility there, and you can still have a team structure where people are working together. They're getting the benefit of the power of 3 and the uni level, and some good things and synergy can happen still. So the rule of enrollments, always keep your own personal enrollments. You don't want to give away your mum's enrollment or your sister's enrollment or anything like that just because you think it will give them a boost. I'd be very, very mindful of doing that, because we know that people can blossom, and we want to make sure that that's going to work for everyone's best interest. Just say they blossom to the point where they become your next diamond on your team. People have hit diamond in, 8 days. It's ridiculous, but people have hit diamond in 6 months even. And just say that's your next person that does that. You want to keep these enrollments, because that could, in all respects, help you with your next rank advancement. You've got 14 days to change the placement or the sponsor. You can only change the enrollment one time, but you have unlimited time. So remember that person that we said was on the 2nd level, and we said we could qualify from them? Well, just say that person on the front line, that their enroller is actually able to give you the enrollership and hand that over to you to help you qualify for silver. Now, that will only be done if it is for the upline's benefit as well as for your benefit. It needs to make business sense for everyone for that to be able to have it, which is why when would we give it to them? we would give it to them when there is rank advancement happening, okay? When we can see that there's movement at the station and it's a good time to give enrollership away. So we also have the 90-day Premier move, which means that we can move them a second time, which is a cool exception. Now, this change is actually this Premier move is going to become obsolete when we bring in the new wholesale customer account, which I'll be doing a webinar on as well as soon as that comes into play. So the wholesale customer is going to be a wonderful added feature to our business. They'll do away with the preferred member and people will go in as a wholesale customer, which is a much, much better opportunity for us. We need to communicate always with the new people that come into our tree. We need to find out where they're at, but also before we place them under anyone in our tree, we need to talk to those people and let them know what's happening underneath them, or even more to the point, find out where they're at, because you might have a talk with them and they might think, oh, look, I've decided to start another business. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or, I hardly think that's possible with doTERRA, but, crazier things have happened. So it's always important to check in and stay communicating with your leaders. Communication is key, as with everything. And the other thing is never make promises, okay? I have seen some relationships become quite damaged for years, in fact, because they felt that promises were made to them, and they were disappointed when enrollership of someone on their front line wasn't given to them. So my advice to you is not to make promises to anybody, just to let them know that it's a gift regardless. We should never, ever expect that our upline will put people under us. There are plenty of people in doTERRA. In fact, they're always the strongest legs, speaking from experience, where they don't get anyone placed under them. And the reason for that is because the upline has to do the best thing in order for themselves to grow too. So we don't want to make promises that we're going to place people under anyone or that we're going to give enrollership to anyone, because, things change and we need to allow for error. Not just error, but we need to allow for, things to happen the way that we don't necessarily expect. So be open and honest and say, what's going on. But, just say you're placing someone under and say, look, I've got 14 days to see where she's at. Just know, please don't, get too attached, because I may move this new wellness advocate to somewhere else in my team. I'm just going to try and see if it's a good fit to start with. So that's always really, really important when it comes to placements. The other great thing is, like I mentioned before, is we do have options. It's not such a steadfast rule that you feel like you have to be trapped into it. We can, qualify with other people within that tree. Yes, it might take longer, but in actual fact, it will be a great long-term option when you have multiple personally enrolled people in those legs where you can qualify from. So please always think you've got an option. When it comes to gifting a position, that is where, giving enrollership to someone could be a good move for you to rank advance. That's a good one. The termination of an account, or when someone does not place an order within 6 months, basically when someone has been inactive for 6 months, they can be moved anywhere else in your tree. So you might like to take a look at your virtual office under detailed genealogy. If you're looking at all of the levels in your team, then you can click on the date of the last order was made, and it will actually, the detailed genealogy will organize everybody into the ascending dates. And so you can actually see all the people who ordered 6 months or more ago, and you have the option to actually move them elsewhere within your team. The other thing that happens is if someone does not order for a long time, then those people will just automatically roll up. They will drop off the tree, and everyone under them will roll up to the next line above. This was a great blessing for me personally, where our 4th diamond leg was under someone who decided not to do loyalty rewards anymore, and I basically had written it off. I thought, I've got to start a new leg, and as it turned out, when the rolling up happened, and you know, there was a builder under there who started to go into some of our upline John Overbeek's business trainings, and he actually mentioned to her, he said, did you know you're going to be Jodie's fourth leg? You could be her fourth line, her diamond qualifying leg. And you know, that actually really, really inspired her. And as it turns out, Jess Kierkegaard is our fourth leg. And that's how it worked out. She's been a member for a very, very long time. And her upline actually rolled off the tree, and it actually worked out quite well. So, and then we have the committee. So whenever there's an exception that we feel it really, really needs to be done, you do need to get the 7 signatures of everyone in the upline. And when you get the 7 signatures, a permission from everyone to move that person elsewhere in the tree, then it will go to the exceptions committee, and they will discuss whether that is a good move for everyone concerned for that change to occur. And those emails need to go to placements@doterra.com. That's the email address. Life is not about how fast you can run or how high you can climb, but how well you can bounce. And I leave that with you on this note, because I feel that placements and our doTERRA business is a lot to do with how well we can bounce. and that is specifically the reason, because mistakes happen, things change, people people have different seasons in their life where they need to take a break or step out or maybe step up. And, you know, things change in that way, where we unexpectedly have an incredible builder and we think, wow, where did that come from? Well, it's all part of riding the waves of doTERRA. It might feel a bit rocky at times, but it's nothing that you can't handle, okay? You were given this because you can handle it, and you were meant to grow. And it's an opportunity to be able to share these lessons with others who go through the same things. So I'm going to actually stop the recording now. Thank you for joining us. And then I'll open it up to the people who are here with me live, and we can answer some questions.